the most profound message for your deepest heart. In today's tarot card reading, we are connecting to the highest light and love in the universe to bring you the most profound messages for your deepest heart. So if you're looking for guidance, direction, and inspiration to live the most fulfilling life you possibly can, you are in the right place. Hello, and welcome. I am so excited for today's reading. I actually had a different topic picked, and as I was setting up, Spirit's like, there's some really powerful messages that need to come through. So I am just excited to see what Spirit has to say. If you don't know who I am Cheryl Harnish. I am the author of the decks we are using today. And I am a true natural intuitive, and I've been a professional reader for 17 years. So the way I wanted to pick today is a little bit different. Instead of just going on something visual or using sound like we do in the other videos, I felt like it was important for us to go on what resonates inside of us. So, ta-da! What I'm going to do is actually pull one card for each pile. And this is going to give Spirit the opportunity to kind of set the energy for each of the piles. Now, for pile number 1, that's the one right there. And we have transformation. Wow. Okay. They are going deep this time, you guys. Wow. And we have interesting. We have transparency, which this is very much because it has that watery look to it. This is deeply emotional. That's the energy I get to this. The transformation with all this violety blue brings me up into these 3 higher chakras: throat, third eye, and crown. And for our third pile, we have reflection. So again, with both kind of this sun moon symbol going on here, and I need to point that out, master number 33. Okay, so here are your choices. As always, you are free to pick one pile or all 3. Whatever resonates for you, whatever calls your heart, and I will get us started in the reading. Hi, group 1. Okay, for our transformation, we are going to start off with a couple charms. I'm digging deep. Let's see what Spirit has to say. So what do we have here? We have a squid, an arrow. We have, oh my goodness, we have a deer, lovers, and a snowflake. All right, now this arrow is reminding me of Cupid's bow. So there is absolutely something going on in the relationship department for you. And I feel like with the arrow, it's kind of saying, you know, that new love, fresh love kind of feeling that's coming in with this. And I mean, I'm not surprised. This is about your deepest heart. But there's something about your relationships coming up here that is bringing you some sort of transformation. But not only that, I feel like with the arrow, Spirit is almost saying these goals, dreams, however you want to put it, what you have been wanting and aiming for in your relationships, in your deepest relationships, is actually a part of what's coming up here. And I feel like it's quite special because we have that snowflake. There's something very unique about this that not only is bringing you transformation, but I feel like helps you to see your own specialness, like all those beautiful, amazing qualities that you have that you seem to be blind to, but the rest of the world can see it. And it's through this intimate relationships, through the people that you truly love coming up here, that's really going to help transform your understanding of yourself, your love, your heart, your gifts. And there's a tenderness to this because we have this little baby deer. And in spirit totems, deer represent, along with a few other things, is family, tenderness, and this is very much about those qualities. And what's interesting is we have the squid, and the squid, it shoots its ink as a defense mechanism. And with that showing up, I feel like there's some sort of transformation, if you want to say, coming in with your protective walls, your barriers, the things that you kind of hold within yourself that you're more hesitant to share with people because those are your soft spots. And there's something about letting down your guard, letting people in a really truly intimate way that brings forth this kind of transformation that's happening for you. So I find it quite interesting that, our reading is a profound message for your deepest heart. And the very first thing that Spirit starts off with is talking about your intimate relationships, right? So we're just going to get out the Divine Guidance deck and see what other cards. I have a few other decks. We're pulling a few cards today. We're going to get a thorough message about what you need to know and hear for your deepest heart. Oh, my goodness. Okay. And just pull this one here. Okay. So I see what it is they're talking about. I know that there are going to be men who are watching this, and it is actually going to apply to you as well. Okay, so the first card I want to start off with is the Femme Divine card, because what's interesting is this is 24 and this is a 6. So we have a lot of 6 energy coming in here, which connects a lot to other people, being involved with other people, along with a lot of other things. But the big thing with the Femme Divine card is that it's talking about stepping into more of your innate feminine qualities. Now, if you're male, that doesn't mean to, toss out masculine qualities. But what it means is there needs to be a bit of focus on the things that are involved with the feminine, which, like the divine feminine, is intuition. So following your hunches, really following your gut on what you need to do. It has that loving, nurturing energy to this as well. And there's something really important going on here with that feminine nature that is involved in this transformation. And so I really do want to reiterate that, like that squid, this is a lowering of your guard, letting your guard down, letting people in, and allowing yourself to be nurtured. We are so often just so on output, looking after other people, taking care of everybody else. And when it comes to us, we're like, no, I'm good. And you are not good. You need the tenderness. You need the love, which is what the deer was talking about, right? But then we have the advancements card. And this card is all about, I don't want to say it's a big leap forward, because this is not a leap. The advancements card is talking about you leveling up in some sort of way. And it's through this transformation, love, relationship, letting your heart be loved, be seen, sharing it. it brings you to a whole new level of being and existing. But the big thing with the advancements card is that this involves choices. That at some point coming up here, you are going to be faced with having to make some decisions. And these are big decisions. These are ones that are around work, moving, relationships, not just what you're going to wear tomorrow. These are the things that are changing the face of your future for tomorrow. And I feel like what they're saying here, that your choices and decisions are going to involve other people. In what way? I'm not sure. So let's see. Let's get out some tarot and see what they have to say. And I also want to pull a couple of the Path of the Soul too. So which two do I need? I need this one and that one right there. Okay. All right. Let's get the other deck. Okay. So what are these decisions around? What is involved with the heart? Oh my goodness. Okay, I see I have the deck upside down here. This is the mini deck of the Path of the Soul. All the names are in the Czech language. But that is renewal, which is like directly a relationship card. Nurturing universe. Oh my goodness. Okay, I see what they're talking about here. So where I was saying that this is definitely a relationship reading, they are talking about your intimate relationships. They're talking about your long-term relationships. They're talking about relationships with your family, or even people who are close to you or have been close to you for a long time that, they feel like family. And the reason I'm saying that is because we have the renewal card. Wherever there are spirals, we have a lot of energy, growth, expansion. But the renewal card specifically talks about a renewal in particular relationships, especially intimate and with family. So I feel like, this is for your deepest heart. And I feel like there's been a lot of challenges that they are talking about, having to deal with a lot of challenges in like a few relationships. This isn't one, but especially if you have been married or in a very long-term relationship, there is some sort of change, shift coming up here in that relationship. But what the renewal card says is that there's a deep healing that happens here. And that, to me, is, oh my goodness, that's 42. This card is 6, 6, and 6. Oh my goodness. So much 6 energy. So much about getting that balance restored in this transformation and really healing your most important relationships. And the reason why I laughed when Nurturing Universe came out is because with this card, again, we have a double spiral. So 2 spirals pulled out. But the message of this card carries notes of the femme divine, which is, the feminine qualities of nurturing, caring, loving, that sort of thing. This Nurturing Universe is about allowing that inner well to be restored, because I have a very low energy feeling that has come in here. Like it's almost the feeling of like being drained or exhausted. And this card is talking about a space being held for you where your needs, your heart, just space for you is held. And that your needs are also examined, brought up, and discussed in restoring some sort of balance in these particular relationships. But there's also something that's very important about trust. And it isn't that there's something here that's saying that. It's just the energy that is coming in with this reading. Now, if you are not in a relationship, there really is somebody new coming in here. Absolutely. But regardless of what your current relationship status is, the biggest message that Spirit is saying here is that if you have been holding your relationships kind of like at the shallow end of the pool, not wanting to dive in too deep because the past is telling you this experience, I don't want to be hurt, or you're kind of skirting around and not really letting them in or avoiding important issues that need to be discussed and talked about, that's what the renewal card is pointing to, okay? That you are getting the healing, the communication, and the energy and love back from your relationships that your deepest heart truly needs. That's what the tarot cards are talking about, oracle cards. We haven't flipped the tarot cards yet, have we? Let's do that. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, so we have the Page of Shells. This one, shells are the equivalent to cups. And with the page, there's even a little heart on this froggy's back. I love that I pull these on camera so you can see this happening, because this blows me away. With the page, this is saying that there's something about news coming. News, information, communication, understanding. I mean, it's literally backing up what it's talking about with this renewal. And because I pulled it to this side of our pile, I feel like this news or information that is coming is actually going to be beneficial in whatever choices and decisions these big choices are that you have coming up. Now, I have to say the other thing with the page is that often there can be a declaration of love. So if you are single, do not be surprised if someone kind of reaches out unexpectedly with a, like a proclamation of love, like, hey, I've had feelings for you for quite some time. That kind of energy is also very strong with the page. And even if you're in relationships, somebody kind of coming around and saying, look, you need to know how I really feel. And it's quite positive. So let's see what our other tarot card is. King of Feathers, which is the King of Swords. So the very first thing that comes to mind with the King of Swords is this kind of reining in your emotions, like pulling them in, getting them under control. And I don't mean stuffing them away. This is about kind of getting really centered and grounded and going, okay, this is what's happening for me in here. And then being able to still communicate and function and work through your relationships in a way where you are not letting your barriers, your protective wall, hold you back. But also it's not, your emotions are not running rampant. And, sometimes when we are emotionally charged, it's really difficult to hold it together when we're trying to communicate things. And so that's one of the big messages with the King of Swords, is that, like, I guess I want to say self-control, but there really is a I guess I want to say clarity. There's a type of clarity that comes with the king. And with it, it helps you to really proceed through any difficult conversations or situations in a much more grounded, rational way. So this is beautiful. And we still have 2 more cards to pull. So let's get out our crystal grid cards and see what else. Spirit, what more can you tell us about this situation? Our group 1 needs to know about their transformation. What is going on? That's the one right there. These are quite new, so they're a little bit more finicky. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. And we're going to take, no, I want that one there. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so we have the clarity card. And I feel like that is everything that Spirit has already been saying, that through that ability to really remain calm in an emergency, in an emotional emergency, that you're able to really keep it together and really step into this. I guess passive is one of the words with the Femme Divine. Just not an aggressive role. You're more in just allowing the situation to unfold in the way that is natural or conducive to this healing, reconnecting, and resolution that is happening in that relationship. Now, the other card that we have, oh my goodness, what are the chances of that, you guys? So, we have the transformation card. With the transformation card, like, Spirit blows my mind sometimes. So, I have to say, with this coming up twice, I feel like with these, there is a big change coming, like within your core, within your operating system, I have to say. And it is a breaking down and a letting go of these old patterns and really allowing yourself to step into this more heart-centered way of being. And this is an authentic transformation. And I'm not saying you aren't heart-centered now. That's not what I mean. But that you're able to really deal with things from this place within your heart instead of the head, the mind, using the past as your marker as to how you're going to deal with things, that it's coming much more from your heart, which ultimately is your higher self. Now, I feel like we're not done. We need another card or 2 here, because there's something important that's going on here, and I feel like we haven't hit the mark yet. Like, what is it, Spirit? Oh my goodness, it happened again. So this is Femme Divine, and this is Divine Feminine. Oh my goodness. So Spirit just keeps repeating that message, and then I want this one. So that's the one. This is the card I was waiting for, you guys. Okay, I pulled way too many cards, so hopefully it's going to be okay here. We have the surrender card, and that is the word that was evading me. I knew there was something else that was going on that I was needing to say. There is a surrendering to the process, because in masculine energy, that is direction, drive, taking the reins, saying, okay, baby, we're going that way. And there's something about stepping out of that, like not having to maintain the control in the relationships. And of course, that's where our squid comes in. It's a safety mechanism. It's a learned response. How do I keep my heart safe? Well, I keep everything locked down and I control the way that everything's going to unfold here. And that way I stay safe. And the universe is saying, like, there is so much love and growth and expansion. And it's time for those walls to come down. It's time to surrender to your heart, to give in. It's not about being right or wrong. It's simply allowing yourself to really communicate from your heart in a balanced, rational, yet loving, feminine way that is bringing this massive transformation to you and your relationships. The other people who are involved here, they are going to change. And like I said, if you're single, the person who's coming in here is going to change your understanding of how relationships work, of how they should operate. It's like, forget Prince or Princess Charming. This is, I always used to say, I don't want just anybody. I want a king. They have to be a king and they have to treat me like a queen. And we've got the king energy in here. This is I don't want to say ultimate relationship, but this is a profound relationship. Absolutely. So you guys are going to have some big decisions, and I feel like with many of you, it is going to be about moving house. That's the strongest energy of the choices and decisions that are coming here. There's something about physically moving house. So for some of you, it will be moving in with a new partner. And for other of you, it's changes around your living situations to bring out the healthiest resolution for you, so that you can let your heart go in this world freely and lovingly. If you haven't subscribed, you better subscribe, because I have some great readings coming up and I have some giveaways coming. Hi guys, sorry to interrupt, but I was in the middle of editing and I realized I needed to let you know that reading number 2, I'm going to strongly suggest you go watch it. And when you start it, you're going to see why. These two, for some reason, are working in tandem. And I think you're going to get some really powerful messages out of it. So if you have the time, go watch number 2 as well. So as always, I hope you enjoyed your reading. You know I love you. Mwah. I will see you again next week. Take care. Hi, group 2. Okay, are you ready for your reading? Energy's high. We are going to start off with some charms, and we'll just give it a big stir here and see what we've got. Okay, so what do we have? I pulled a lot, but it's okay. All right, so that's interesting that the squid came out, because there's 2 of each charms in my dish. And squid came out in the last reading, and I did not put it back in the bowl. So you guys are another group. After you watch this one, I am going to say it's really important that maybe you go back and watch group 1 as well. So with that squid, because it squirts ink, what it's talking about is your protective walls, protecting yourself, protecting your heart, keeping everyone kind of at bay or at arm's length so that you stay emotionally safe and protected. But even though it seems like it serves you, and it served you in the past, because we have the transparency card, there's something about allowing people, or particular people, to see through that protective wall, if you want to put it that way. Now, we also have the angel wing, which is very indicative of spirit really being with you in this process. But there's also something about spreading your wings, flying free. And I say that because we also have the butterfly with the little pearl of wisdom. Oh my goodness, that's interesting. Because pile 1 the word was transformation. So you have 2 of the same symbols as reading 1. Just saying, guys, if you have the time, you might want to watch it. So we have that transformation energy that comes through. But what I'm more concerned about is these wings. Because these wings are talking about you flying free, soaring high, if you want to put it that way. And with that pearl, it's the pearl of wisdom. But there's a lightening up that's happening here because we have a child. And so that child is representing, not being so dang serious about things that are happening, circumstances, life, or walking your path. There needs to be a bit of play involved here. And again, we have this little monkey, and the monkey is also quite mischievous, So again, I feel like it's backing up that kind of energy, but also monkeys can travel quite quickly up in the trees, swinging from branch to branch. So there's something about a fast movement, like a fast forwarding energy happening here. Now, we have a sewing machine and our little hand that says handmade. So I feel like in one part, this is talking about really, you getting into doing things that really make your soul happy, that you do with your own 2 hands. Whatever that might be, hobbies, interests, passions, things like that. But with that sewing machine, there's some sort of mending going on. And in what area, I don't really know. But there's also the letter K, which will be significant with people, events, or situations coming up in the next little bit. Okay, so let's move this out. And we are going to get some cards. We'll move this to the center. And we're going to get some cards to find out what in the world is Spirit talking about here. Because this is a tarot card reading on your deepest heart. So that is definitely the Freedom card. Makes sense. There it is. That makes sense to me. And we have the Archangel Michael card. Okay. What are the chances that we'd get the Archangel Michael card and there's an angel wing sitting here? It's also, we've got these blues happening here, which again represents water and Archangel Michael, throat, communication, things like that. So with Archangel Michael, there, I want to point out that he has a few things, but there's a lot of you who call on the angels or work with angels on an everyday basis, and I totally get that. But the energy that's coming in here, how the energy feels in the reading, is that Archangel Michael is talking about, one, this feeling for a need of protection that you have, that it is a letting down of your guard, so to speak, and more relying on the universe for your safety and protection, if you want to put it that way. Because there's that energy of, we have your back. We've got you. It's okay. It's that letting down of your guard and protection a little bit here. But the other big message with Archangel Michael is cord cutting. And usually it's talking about cutting the cords to particular people who don't always serve a purpose in our lives, where when we first met them there was important things going on, and now it's kind of come to that completion, which is where I feel that transparency is really coming in here, because on one level it's talking about a transparency of allowing people to really see your truest self. But there's also a transparency in the situation, like being able to see things more clearly, being able to see the people who are involved in our lives in a different light, so to speak. So what I want to do, oh my goodness, I almost forgot to read the card. I do that, I get so involved. The other card that we have here, which is truly amazing, is the Freedom card. And so that card really does speak about, that's a nautilus shell in that fractal. And it's talking about allowing yourself to come out of your shell, to allow yourself to join the world in a real way, where you let your heart out here into the world and you share yourself in a meaningful sort of way, which is exactly what the squid was talking about and what Archangel Michael was talking about. There's something about you coming out of your shell, giving yourself that freedom, giving yourself that permission. Because I feel with the handmade charm here, there's a part of this is also talking about path and purpose. And so that's why they are talking so much about letting down your guard. Okay. So what more do we need to know, Spirit? This is the mini Czech language version of my Path of the Soul cards. So all the words are written in Czech. Yeah, okay, I'm going to take that one. Okay, so we have the Clarity card and Birth of Angels. Wow. We have 2 angel cards and angel wings showing up here. And this is a profound message for your deepest heart. And I feel like this is where they are talking about trust. And, sometimes we go through life and it can be so bumpy and so shocking with how things unfold that we feel like it's not safe to really be out here in the world. Now, the reason I'm saying all of this is because the Birth of Angels card has showed up. And when that card shows up, there is that feeling that like, oh my God, I'm doing it alone. I am floundering around in this world. I feel like I'm in the dark trying to feel my way through, and I'm all alone in this. And even though it can feel that way at times, Spirit is doing everything they possibly can to tell you that they are with you. Especially this higher frequency of divine energy, of that angelic, nurturing, loving energy. And that's what Birth of Angels is all about. And it is also a master number 44. Okay. So it does talk about kind of coming through this kind of a quieter time. If you want to say retreat, that there's been that retreat, which is why you have your shell, which is why they are talking about you coming out and joining the world. Now, I feel like this Clarity card, I feel like there's something else that this is pointing to that we haven't talked about yet. So I'm going to grab out our tarot cards, and I just want to see what they have to say. Okay, so Spirit, give us some more clarity on the clarity card. That one right there. Oh my goodness. We have the Magician. Wonderful. Okay. And that's the one right there. Okay. And we have the Tower. Okay. So, with the Tower, this is talking about events or situations that had happened that were sudden, that kind of took you by surprise, like out of the blue kind of thing. And it rocked your world, and, not always in a favorable way, because the Tower card is talking about things breaking down. It has a Pluto type energy from astrology. And with that, it's talking about things breaking down that no longer serve you. Same message with Archangel Michael, people who no longer serve you. A breaking down of those things so that you're starting afresh. You're starting with new ground so that you can rebuild in a new way that is truly in alignment to you. So with the Tower, that also says that there's a lot of understanding deeper with the pearl. That's that pearl of wisdom that we were talking about. The Tower gives you that pearl of wisdom, that deeper understanding and insight to things. And so I feel like that clarity card is talking about really gaining the understanding and wisdom that has come through these past events that maybe just right now you don't have that full picture or understanding, but that is coming here for you. Now, the other thing we have the Magician card. Now, with that, the Magician, the big thing with the Magician is that he or she, they are able to take experiences and parts from their past and use that in a knowledgeable way to create or manifest a new future. And I feel like they are talking about a future that, it says handmade on this hand by your own two hands, literally manifesting a life that is true to your deepest heart. Because I feel like you guys really have gone through the mill, through the ringer here over these past few years. And it's almost like, when do I get a break? When do I get to, feel like I'm actually treading water instead of just getting water up my nose all the time? And they are saying that this new kind of energy coming in is where you have control, you have the say, and you get to decide your future and how you want to manifest it in a way that you have the wisdom from the past to be able to recreate, now that we have a clear foundation, what is the best and highest good for you. So I just want to get, okay, lovely. We have the Balance card. And why I'm so excited about that one is because I feel like that is exactly what I've been feeling with this. I'm going to move the clarity card over. It's a restoring of the equilibrium is how I want to put that. It's putting things back into its proper place, because I feel with the Tower moments you guys have been having in the past, it's kind of, you know, if this is a seesaw or a teeter-totter, it's kind of tipped way one way, and it's, you know, more emotional and difficult to deal with. And this is talking about that real balance and you coming into this real balance and stability. So the other card we have there is Gratitude card, which is interesting because the Magician talks about manifesting your own future, manifesting it consciously. And of course, gratitude is a big part of that, which it doesn't necessarily mean you have to sit in the energy of gratitude, but looking at the things that you are grateful for helps you to feel what it is you want to create more of in your future coming up. And this is, like, I need to say, you guys, this is going to be so important that you do the journaling or scripting for manifesting, list writing, the list method for manifesting, because I feel like there's something important about getting it down on paper, and that's just coming intuitively here. So, and I need this bottom card. Okay, you're going to understand why, and time. Okay, this completely makes sense to me. So, the reason I'm laughing with the attraction, because I feel like one part of it is talking about where we were talking about manifesting, it's talking about the law of attraction, literally, because I was just listing off different particular ways of manifesting. Looking at the law of attraction is going to be important. However, I do feel they are talking about you being drawn, coming up here, drawn to the things, the people, the situations that really are meant for you, for your next level of growth, for, you know, that is much more congruent to who you are today, and this whole releasing and letting go of the past and how things have been in the past. That's not what your future looks like coming up here. And then we have the time card. But I also have to say, if you watch reading number 1, you are going to completely understand why I am giggling with the attraction card coming out here, okay? So the time card. You know, in one essence, it's saying it's not about rushing through, you know, this, you're in a transitory kind of area where you're coming out of the old and moving into the new. You're in the in-between area of that. And I know we just want to get there. For goodness sakes, get me there, please. I'm done with this. I hear you. I hear you. But Spirit's saying there's a time for everything. Everything has its own time. And so there's something here about not rushing the process at all, doing your best to remain patient and present in the moment. But I also want to say that the time is reminding me about this manifesting, which is that quantum leap to a new timeline, to a different timeline that is authentically where your heart and soul needs and wants to be. We're finished with that old timeline, my love. You are, okay? So you just have to know that the clarity is coming for you. You have the support of the universe in this. Keep grounded and centered in your heart through this transition process. So I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you are not subscribed, you better subscribe, because I have some amazing things coming up, including some giveaways. I'm so excited. Anyhow, as always, sprinkle a little love on the like button for me, please, if you enjoyed it. As always, you know I love you. My heart is with you. Mwah. I will see you again next week. Take care. Hi, group 3. Okay, so unfortunately, when I went to edit, I realized that the front view camera just didn't record your reading. I don't know why. I'm taking it up with the guys upstairs. Anyhow, it was all captured from the upper camera, so it's not quite as polished as the other readings. However, it is so profound, the messages in this, that I thought, I am not re-recording it. You guys really need to hear this. So let's carry on with the reading. Hi, Group 3. Okay, we are going to start off with charms. I know that's loud, sorry, but okay, what do we have? Got to dig out the one that tried to get away. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a Cupid. So there's something about, because this is reflections, there's something about looking back at past relationships, the lessons, the learning, the experiences, good and bad, that you've had and why they've happened. However, I do have to say, they might be hinting at this feeling of falling in love. And it doesn't necessarily mean with a person, but you know how we can feel like you fall in love with a place, or you fall in love with the way that life is happening right now. There is that rosy pink colored glasses energy that's going on with that. We also have the letter B and the letter Y, which can be initials of people, places, things, events coming up here. Now, what is this? Oh, look at that. We have a little cello. See, with a cello, it's one of those instruments that is the tuning of that instrument is very deep and emotional. And I feel like it's talking about tuning into these deeper emotional processes. I can't explain why, but this energy is very strong in your reading. And I have a feeling when we get the cards out, we're going to understand. Okay, so we also have the crown. So this could be talking about the crown chakra, that there's some work going on as far as spiritual awakening, deeper realizations, deeper understandings, and also deeper connection with spirit, with the spiritual realm as a whole. Now, we also have the strawberry, which is about, there's something coming up here that is about the sweetness of life. Now, remember, this is a profound message for your deepest heart, right? And we have the deer, and the deer is very gentle. I often think of Bambi when I see the little deer, and it's kind of about finding our place in the world, finding our soul tribe, you know, because Bambi's lost and makes friends. There is that energy of that camaraderie of, I want to say, like spiritual friends, your spiritual mates, feeling that deep connection. But there's also something coming in here with this anchor that is about getting grounded. That isn't just grounding, but also like laying roots, you know, because there's a bit of that nomadic kind of energy in here where you've kind of been shuffling around, dabbling with things, trying to find what's you, what fits you. And so this feels like there's something anchoring in here that is quite solid. And I have to say, it feels quite spiritual too. So let's get out our cards and see what else we can add to this for you. Because right now it feels like Spirit is talking about a few things. But like I said, because the energy with this, it feels like there's so many things that you guys have been touching on and exploring. And this is about really getting you connected and grounded into that thing that is real and a part of your true path and calling is what I want to say. I feel like I need this bottom card. So we have the nectar of life. That totally makes sense to me. And we have the heart-centered card. Okay, so I just want to add 2 cards to this so that we get a little bit of clarity here. And these are a mini deck of my Path of the Soul cards. And they are in the Czech language. Oh my goodness. Okay, we have hidden treasures. I knew this was about path, purpose, that sort of thing. And we have tears. Okay. And it makes sense that it's coming out on this side. Oh, so they are talking about 2 things going on here. The first thing that I want to point out is that heart-centered card. Because this, very rarely when I'm making fractals, do they come out as particular shapes that we recognize. And this is 1,000 little hearts all coming together. And this literally is talking about your deepest heart. And I feel like because that energy of like you guys are like those skippers on the pond and have gone around trying everything and kind of dabbling with everything, it's almost like it's saying, okay, you've been out on the playground, you've played hard, and now it's time to really settle down into one thing. And I feel like this is where you guys are being challenged, is to actually settle down. So with that heart-centered card, this is talking about the importance of coming into that heart-coherent state where you are operating more from here than here. And when you are in a true heart-coherent state, what happens is the brain waves actually follow suit to the rhythms of the heart. And it puts you in a much more awakened, spiritually awakened state. But it also puts you in more of an intuitive state and a sensing state, so that you're much more in alignment with the energies that are out here in the world around you. And there's something very important about you guys getting into that heart state, because we have the Treasures card coming up. And that Treasures card is saying that there is so much more in you that is hiding in you as far as your gifts and your purpose in life, but that you haven't yet discovered it. It's like, you guys, it's time to do that deep dive and, down to the bottom of the ocean and open up that treasure chest and go, what's in here? What is in here? And I know that you guys haven't really had time to do that yet, because we have this this card is like a great big teardrop. And it's talking about having gone through your challenges in life, and that, we have to go through these certain emotional processes, and that it's important for you guys to allow those emotional processes to happen, because not only are they cleansing, but it allows us to release what we don't need anymore. And I feel like this is part of you guys really settling down, is a releasing from the past, these old experiences. And I feel like there's a few in particular that kind of have your head and heart you're stuck in the trauma of it or the emotion of it. And there's something about releasing it here, because we can't just carry on and pretend that they aren't there or not want to deal with them, because it's the same as our rubbish, our trash in our home. We could pretend that it's not there and say, I don't want to deal with that, and never do anything about it. But it's just going to accumulate in your home. And at some point, you're going to either have to take out the trash or move to a new house, right? No one will want to come visit you in a stinky garbage house. And so I know that it's sometimes taxing, like you're like, I'm done with all these emotions. But it's really important because there's something about the purity of who you guys are. Like, you guys truly are these beautiful, pure hearts with a tremendous, I want to say, a tremendous amount of power and a tremendous gift that you have to share here in the world. And you guys have just the last little bits to clean up here, right? So it's time to really just settle into here. And that's what this Nectar of Life card is talking about, because it is literally talking about you coming to that place where you can really settle down and just enjoy the sweet life. Like, it gives me the image of like going out, I'm in Vancouver, BC, going out to the mountains, to a little cabin by the lake, and just putting your feet up and going, this is the life, while you drink your margarita. There's something that's really important here for you guys, that you're coming into that place of like sincere joy and sincerely settling down in life. Okay. So what I want to do is pull some of our crystal grid. I have the hands of a T-Rex, a little dinosaur, little baby hands. And these cards are massive in my hands. Okay. So group 3, Spirit, the message for their heart. What is it that you want to tell them? And I'm going to take this one. And no, it's down here. There it is. Sometimes it takes a second. And we have Crossroads. Now that is interesting, because that Crossroads cards is saying that you're coming up to this point in your life. You're hitting that place where Spirit is going, okay, this is it. You have a choice here. Which way do you want to take? Do you want to stay skimming on the surface, just kind of floating around to different things in life? Or do you really want to come into your path and purpose, come into your heart? And I feel like Spirit is saying, please make that choice, make that decision to really honor what your heart is telling you is true for you in your lifetime as far as your path and purpose. And we have the Endurance card. And that's kind of where that Tears card comes in, because you can get through this. You will get through this. And in that process, you are going to discover gifts and things within you that you never thought could really be possible for you to have. Okay? Now, I know I'm just like nuts with the cards today. I've got, oh my goodness. But I absolutely love how the energy of all the different cards really bring the reading together. So what is it about path and purpose, Spirit, that is so profound for our group 3 that they need to hear? Okay, I see. It's talking about the same thing. We have the 5 of Shells, which is equivalent. And we have the 4 of Acorns, which is the 4 of Wands. Okay, just a second. Let me get these put over. And I'm going to get these. This is all about aligning to your path and purpose, and aligning with the right people who are meant for you. But this also talks about building a foundation, building a home, building a community of people around you and with you. And it also talks about marriage. Cups aren't the only ones that can infer that. But what's interesting is I pulled it over here on this side of our reading. So what that's saying is that it's time for you to really come into this heart-centered place and allow yourself that really true, deep connection with yourself and spirit to settle down into your life at that crossroads to make that decision, because this is about a crossroads that is aligning you to your path, to your purpose, and to, I want to say, stabilizing people. People who are, when they say, oh, they are my rock, whether it's your bestie or your life partner, it's those kind of people. Like, it's aligning you with the rocks in your life. That is what's coming here. And the rock is really a good analogy because there's such that grounding, anchoring feeling of settling you down into this next chapter of your life. Because what you are moving out of that 5 of shells, having gone through a deep emotional process. And that's usually within the relationship department, right? Which is what these tears are. And I couldn't understand when I first pulled it, why did I pull it to this side? But it makes sense to me because it's like endurance. You went through it, you've been through it, and now it's time to come into the sweetness because you have this new life that is waiting for you, that is so much more rewarding and fulfilling. Now, the thing with that 5, though, is that in traditional tarot cards, they've got the 5 cups are sitting on a table and only 2 are left standing. And the meaning with that 5 of cups, it's saying that the potential for a partnership, a true, real partnership, is still here in the cards for you. It's right here in the tarot cards because we have one that talks about building homes and stable marriages. And then we have this saying that future love, that right relationship, it's here. Do not give up is what I want to say. I know that life can get so hard at times and you're just like, I've had it. And Spirit doesn't want you to give up on yourself. Okay? They don't want you to give up on life. Incarnation is not easy, but you can succeed. You can make it through this. Endurance. You can. But it's not just for the sake of enduring. There's a real reason why. And I feel like I need to pull a different card here. They're telling me that. And so I'm going to get the 7th chakra. So it's funny, we have the 7th chakra card, and we have this little guy with the crown. So again, that's why you've been through everything that you've been through. That's why you've had this struggle in this part of your journey, okay? That this is truly about your higher lessons in learning through your incarnation so that you can truly step into here and move beyond the personality of you to be the full soul expression of you. This beautiful, big heart and light that you are and that you have to give and share out here in this world. Wow. Okay. I'm still going to, it's this one that I'm trying to get. Oh my goodness. it's kind of, I don't even know where to put this. I didn't plan to pull this many cards. Romantic love. Every single one of these readings, profound message for your deepest heart, have talked about romantic love. And I feel like they are literally backing up what I was saying, or what they were saying, with the 5 and 4 with the tarot cards. Because that romantic love, they're telling you to hold on. This card came out just last week. Look how many of these cards there are, you guys. The chances of this card coming out again are more than 1 in 1,000. That's for sure. But there's still something else. So there is a relationship that's waiting for you. There really is. And they're saying it's first about getting into that vibe, that place, that willingness to be in that kind of big open relationship. But first, your relationship with spirit is what needs to get grounded in here first. Okay? Now, there's still something about your path and purpose. There's hidden treasures, and I feel like that's what spirit... Okay. Healing with intention. That we know. Okay, spirit. Give us one card that's going to talk about path and purpose here. What is it to that? Creative. Now, that's funny that creative came out, because this really is about that creative force within you. And I know that for some of you, you go, but I'm not very creative. And it doesn't always have to be in the traditional sense of creative. But there's something about the way that your mind works, because creativity and intuition both operate from the same side of the brain, and they're accessed through the same faculty within us. Okay? So this is why they're really pointing to the crown, to that creative flow juice coming in, because I feel like there's something so much more. Here's what the word that works with this is: expressive of you out here in the world. Even if you're doing something like accounting, bookkeeping, or something purely mainstream, there's still something very expressive, creative that you can do within that role. But for the most part, I really feel like this card is pointing to you diving into the more creative aspects of yourself. So, the writing, the drawing, the singing, the painting, the dancing, the photography, the videography, all of those amazing things that we have. There's something about you really coming into that area. So I understand why spirit isn't like fully divulging it, because there's so many important things first. You're going through the tail end of this healing, really coming into allowing your heart to be open and vulnerable and exposed in this world, and coming into this, being rooted in life in a solid, stable, healthy, happy, loving relationship. And through that, it really gives you this foundation that you need to become that full creative expression of your soul. Wow. Okay, that was truly profound. Okay, if you liked your reading, please do sprinkle some love on the like button. If you aren't subscribed, I'm telling you, you want to subscribe, because I have some giveaways coming up here over the next few weeks. So exciting. And as always, you know that I love you I am so excited for you guys. Big things coming. I will see you again next week. Mwah. Take care.